We've lost all romance in our world.
On Stormy Daniels initially denying having an affair with Donald Trump, she says it's because of the threat of being sued for millions. This is more of the Stormy Daniels Piers Morgan interview if you're just tuning in right now at 8 a.m.
Right, so this is in the same month that the story gets reported
Right.
by the Wall Street Journal. You say, to whom it may concern, over the past few weeks, I've been asked countless times to comment on reports of an alleged sexual relationship I had with Donald Trump many, many, many years ago. The fact of the matter is that each party to this alleged affair denied its existence in 2006, 2011, 2016, 2017, and now again in 2018. I'm not denying this affair because I was paid hush money, as has been reported in overseas-owned tabloids. I'm denying this affair because it never happened. I'll have no further comment on this matter. Please feel free to check me out on Instagram, Stormy Daniels.
So that's the second one.
Right, so explain to me, though...
That's the second one. There was one before that.
Right, so people point to the contents of this letter and they say, well, what changed? I mean, you couldn't have been more categoric in saying...
I was still under the NDA. Michael Cohen wrote that and had me sign it, and I didn't want to, which is why I signed my name wrong right before I went on Kimmel and pointed it out.
How did you sign your name?
It doesn't look like my signature.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
But you were still under the NDA, so you
Yes.
felt obliged to do this.
I was told if I didn't, they'd sue me for the $20 million or whatever it was. I had not been released from the NDA.
People say, and you know this because it's been blazing around on Twitter in the last week.
That this is some new.
Well, no,
I love that people say that it's new.
Well, they say, well, this is the letter that
and
proves. They say this is the letter that proves Stormy Daniels can't be trusted or believed. What do you say to those people?
I said I'm the only one that can be believed because I was the last one upholding the original agreement. I was the last one doing what I was supposed to do. Also, I never testified in court. That wasn't done under oath. That was printed off of an email that Cohen sent to somebody that sent to somebody. It's not notarized. It's not endorsed. It's not an affidavit. It's not perjury. And I didn't break the NDA because if I hadn't signed that, I would have broken the NDA.
So she put her signature on a document, but claims she made it messier than normal. So then she technically didn't sign it.
Yeah.
That seems like she established a fraud, a premeditated murder as well.
Well, it shows she's kind of conniving.
Kind of?
You know, she and Michael Cohen are not credible witnesses, but you mentioned McDougal, and there's also Pecker from the National Enquirer. Those people, if they get on and they say something credible, those people could be problematic.
Yeah, because the National Enquirer, well, their parent company, I guess, is being sued too, right? Because they allegedly had stuff and they were paid to.
Well,
the allegation. Yeah,
they were engaged in spiking stories, hearing about a story, going out and paying for it, and never publishing it.
Right, killing this. You know, being a middleman in a way. Somebody comes to you with a tell-all story about Trump, and so they think they're telling their story in a legit story or whatever, and then instead of it being printed and told, in fact, then they get Michael Cohen contacting them to pay them off, to silence them, and sign the NDA. That's what's alleged here. Look, as this moves forward, I'm just going to say this to you. This was not a focus, and it was brushed aside before 2016. If these conversations dominate, and you get McDougal out there, and you get Stormy Daniels out there, and the narrative becomes that this is the way Donald Trump treats women, and then you get women coming out of the woodwork, and women that even in the past start saying, well, he did this, he did that. This could be a huge problem.
It wasn't a problem for Bill Clinton.
This is a different time, though. It's different because if it's true that a McDougal was in love with him, and you have these people now coming out and they're free to speak or testify or whatever, it is a problem moving forward because for women voters, and then you have Melania not going to events because allegedly the situation with Stormy was going on when she was pregnant with Barron, who just turned 17 within the past couple of weeks, it becomes a huge problem because women are going to grow weary of this stuff. Because it's not that, hey, a guy committed adultery 17 or plus years ago. It's more of a pattern of how does he view women? How does he treat women? And so that becomes a problem.
Especially when that is the most vulnerable demo in the upcoming election.
Bingo.
And if the Republicans do not win women back,
Yep.
no Republican will win an election. And they will tattoo Trump's picture on every Republican candidate. So there is danger, even though this case is out there. As Rich often says, the penalty is in the prosecution of it. Mm-hmm. You know, just having to defend yourself is expensive, and it is going to stain your reputation. Because you walk around and you ask people about it, and they don't know the reality of it. They don't know the facts of the case. They only know the salacious allegations. And that's a problem.
Exactly. And so, but it becomes, with women, it's about respect and disrespect. So everybody knows his past. He's been pretty transparent. He talked about his marriages. He talked in the one, ironically, it was Anderson Cooper during the campaign, and he talked about the women, his 3 wives, and that he had regrets. And even with Ivana, his first wife, and talked about how, they were in business together and it became all business. He talked about his wives, that he wasn't there, and he had some moments where he was very honest about it, and that was good for him. But in this one, if it continues to come out where he continues, and yesterday in one of his fundraiser type emails that you get, he said, I did not have an affair with Stormy Daniels. If he continues to deny it, then he also continues to disrespect his wife. And so then at some point, does he come out and apologize to Melania or say, I apologized to my wife, but I'm not that person anymore?
At least the Clintons had the PR smarts to walk on the beach hand in hand.
Oh, remember that? Yeah,
remember that.
Yeah.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky, because we know oral sex is not sex, right? No, he never said that part.